Well,
I'm pulling out my weapon.
yeah, let's see if we can get out of the way and shoot it.
Well, what do you mean? So it's like I said, it's hurtling straight towards you. So Zagreus, you pull out your mace, but
Yep.
it's still gonna it's a big, and the closer it comes, the bigger it is, right? This guy's big. He's gonna come slam into the rock and potentially like hook at least two of you, catch you with its hooks with a lot of force. So you've got your mace ready. What is Jack doing?
I want to dodge out of the way of the big nasty thing and then try and shoot it. But
Okay,
first,
so
just dodging.
you're trying to move to the side so that it won't be able to hook you.
Yes.
And Newt, what are you doing?
I'm going to try and fly to someplace further away.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So I think that with it hurtling at you, you've got a split second, so it might be actually kind of tough to hurl yourself out of the way. So I actually think Jack and Newt, the two of you, should defy danger with dexterity to see what happens when you try to get out of its way.
Okay.
Grob, what were you doing with your mace? You were standing there, readied your mace. Are you just going to try and take it, let it slam into the rock, and bash it, or were you going to do something else?
I think, so I was readying my mace, but I think I'm also going to, I really want to set down roots so it can't move me, because that
Oh,
just
sure,
sounds-
totally. So you spend one of your hold, and you set down your roots, which means it can't move you, it can still hook you and tear into you with its claw. Is that cool?
That's totally fine.
All right. And so you're just basically going to stand there and let it hit you.
Mm-hmm. I trust people implicitly to have my back for some reason.
Yeah, that's not what is happening right now.
I know.
I don't get out of the way.
Why are you just standing there?
I think that in that case, actually, it probably just hits you and does damage to you, right? Because
That's totally
it's
fine.
not going to knock you over. It's not going to bowl you over. It's not going to be anything awful, right? Because you just rooted yourself. But it is going to hit you and hurt you. So the two of you, Jack and Newt. Jack, what did you get?
6.
And Newt, what did you get?
11.
All right, so Newt, you take off into the air, and it's weird as crap flying in here. This is the most strange flying. You have no sense of up, no sense of down. You're pushing your wings against air, and it's giving you force, but it's not like controlled the way normal flying is. This is very upsetting. But you flap your way over to another one of these rocks, and you impact the ground maybe a little hard, but nothing too bad, and get up to your feet and get to watch as Jack flings himself to the side, trying to get away from this thing, and Zagreus just roots itself and gets ready. The thing's one hook catches Jack along his back and just tears across him, cutting into his flesh. And Zagreus, one hook like rips into your bark, leaving a rent across your arm. So let's see what damage this guy does, shall we?
Sure.
I guess it's a 1d4.
So it's each of you roll a d8 and add 2, and that's how much damage you take.
I take 6.
I take 4.
And your armor subtracts from it, but this guy has 1 piercing, which means that he basically ignores 1 point of armor.
All right, well, I take 6.
All right. So what I'm thinking what this means too is that like he catches Jack, and Jack, since you were trying to spin away, and he rips his claw along your back, like it totally throws you off balance, and you actually go spinning off the rock, like into the air, and you're totally out of control, right? You without anything to push off against, you're having a really hard time trying to get control of your spin right now, and it hurts like a bitch.
Yes, it does.
Zagreus, of course, like he tears into you, and then his hook stops. Like he's trying to rip through you, and then eventually he hits the hardest part of you. His hook stops moving as it is tearing through you. And then what do you do?
Well, I have a mace, and I'm gonna give him a little love tap across the face.
Yay for diplomacy.
Yeah, it's working real well for us so far. Okay, so I roll plus my strength.
You do indeed.
7, 8.
Okay, so on an 8, it gets to make an attack against you, and you get to deal your damage to it. So, go ahead and roll your damage die, which I believe is a d6, correct?
Yes, sir. Oh.
So what happens here is that like you bash it across its head, and your mace clangs against it. It's made of some weird metallic rock stuff. It's weird, and the head knocks to the side, and then just spins all the way back around, so that those two twin pointy eyes are aimed right at you, and then the sigils embedded in its chest, this weird runic writing, begin to glow like this burning white color. And as that happens, it wrenches its claw free of you, and it brings both its claws down. They smash into the rock that the two of you are standing on, that you rooted yourself into, and the rock explodes. The doorway goes hurtling off, spinning end over end, off into this void. As you, Zagreus, are like your roots are now free. There's no rock around them to root you. The flowers on the rock start flying every which way, and you're now in midair with this thing right in front of you, and the doorway that would let you exit spinning further into the dark. All right.
Very cool.
So, Newt, what are you doing, having just seen that?
I'm going to try and shoot it with an arrow.
This is the adventurer way.
I have their back, okay? So I shout... Oh, this is... I've been waiting to say this. Dunkelheit, kill!
And the bat flies forward.
It's trained to fight monsters, so this is not the first time I've shouted this.
It is well used to this command. Of course it
Right,
is.
and so it goes soaring, and I figure so it's quick reflexes, but it's not that strong. So its job is to distract and expose weak points that I can then hit with an arrow. So that's kind of how we work it together.
Got it.
So it starts flying all around the head of the sigils and stuff, and just generally making a nuisance of itself. And as it gets swatted at, which again, quick reflexes allow it to dodge, it potentially gives me a better shot.
Great. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. So yeah, now it's flying around the head of this thing, which is swiping at Dunkelheit with claws, but it's not quite the hooks, rather. But it's not quite catching your bat. And then you aim your arrow. Where are you aiming at?
Well, those sigils look important. It'd be an awful shame if someone were to break them.
Sure, totally. Go ahead and roll the volley, which is plus dex.
14!
Boom!
Nice.
I believe that on a volley 14, yeah, you just plain deal your damage. Go for it. Go ahead and roll your damage die.
So it's actually D8 plus the ferocity of my pet.
Which is
1.
1. Got it.
So 7.
Very nice. Yeah, so your arrow shoots through the void and strikes this thing right in the sigil on its chest as your bat is distracting it. The sigil flashes when the arrow hits it, and you see just for a moment that you actually scratched one of the letters, and like it's flickering now. The sigil is flickering, and the creature is moving in a herky-jerky, weird fashion. As it's now actually turned towards you, rotated in the void, propelled by some strange force, and it's actually going to put out its hooks straight forward and hurtle straight through the air at you.
I got your back!
Thanks, I just have to, steady myself. Appreciate it.
Yeah, Jack, you're spinning off in the void when a hand reaches out and grabs you. And as soon as that happens, you stop spinning and you have that moment as your body suddenly all the momentum is like crushing your intestines. And then you see that the hand gripping your leg is the hand of the one that had been talking, which is standing there, and it has this like no eyes and this eternal grin on its face is how it looks, and it just turns its head towards you, and it says, "You really should have accepted that deal."
Great. Sounds. You know what? I'm gonna bet that it's a little too late to take it now. Not that I would anyway, but.
Do you have anything else to offer?
What do you think I can bargain with? I mean.
Yourself?
I'm gonna bet that that's not gonna go well. For the sake of curiosity, what exactly do you mean by that?
It points at the black one that's hurtling straight towards your friend. We don't have time to get into all the details. Destroy works fairly quickly. I would potentially take the deal sooner rather than later. Do you want to try to discern realities and study this thing?
Sure, let's do it.
That might help you right now.
I got a 9.
Okay, cool. And that's plus wisdom, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you get to ask one question. What happened here recently? What is about to happen? What should I be on the lookout for? What here is useful or valuable to me? Who's really in control here? Or what here is not what it appears to be?
What is useful or valuable to me?
What is
I mean, that's
useful?
kind of what it's...
Well, come on. You obviously have something that you could totally trade that would instantly make you a guest. The shard.
Yeah.
Instantly would make you a guest. Immediately. All right, so as you're like paying close attention to this thing, trying to like work out what's on its unmoving, weirdly ivory porcelain face, the black one hurtling straight towards Newt. Newt, what do you do?
I'm gonna try and fly out of the way again.
Yeah, go ahead, Newt. I think that's going to be another dodge with a 2d6.
Okay.
Defy danger.
13.
Jeebus. Yeah. You hurtle off that rock into the space, this still weird topsy-turvy flying, but you manage to land on another rock padded by all the flowers on the rock, these weird mauve things that you've never seen before in your life. As it smashes into the rock you were standing on, exploding it once more into shards of rock, hurtling off into this void, little green flowers left adrift.
Could use a little help, Zagreus.
So Zagreus, you are now floating free. Your roots are no longer rooted. The rock you were standing on has been exploded. What are you doing?
Putting myself, stupidly, between Newt and the big scary thing.
How are you
we're
doing?
friends.
How are you doing that?
I'm like floating.
Yeah, you are floating currently.
Okay. So I have that this may not be how it was intended, but I'm going to ask and you can name me. That turn nature against them. Basically, use some of the floating flowers that are now everywhere to kind of grab me and sling me in that direction. Because they're vines.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that I'm going with the fundamental. I'm cool with it. Unless anybody here has an objection with that move being used in that way, it may not 100% line up, right? Like use nature against them isn't 100% what you're doing, but I think it's really cool. Is everybody cool with that?
I'm cool with it.
Do it.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. Yeah, go for it. And so this is one of your two
visual.
You guys,
Yep.
you guys do need to sort of just remember you only have 2 hold for those things. But
Yeah, I've been
that's great.
crossing them off.
So you should actually have none right now because you rooted
Correct.
yourself. Yeah. Yeah, so you go hurtling now, pulled by these like flower vines in air. Like the flowers floated a little bit and lined up for you to pull you in the way of this black thing, which after it hit the rock he was standing on that time, it hooked another rock, swung around, and is now coming straight back, aimed at Newt. And you're in the way. That is totally standing in defense. Go for it. That is roll plus con.
Oh my god. I think that just barely does it.
Is that a 7?
7, yep.
Nice. So you hold 1. As long as you stand in defense, when you or the thing you defend is attacked, you can spend the hold to choose one option. Redirect an attack from the thing you defend to yourself, have the attack's effect or damage, open up the attacker to an ally, giving the ally +1, or deal damage to the attacker equal to your level. So redirect an attack, have an attack, open up an opportunity, or deal damage to the attacker. So right now it is actually hurtling straight towards you, and it wants to shoot through you to get to Newt. It cannot get to Newt without first hitting you. So it's currently going to slam right into you unless you don't want it to. Are you just going to take it?
Yes.
That's exactly the right answer. Yeah, I think that's great. You slam, it slams right into you, and it's gonna. I mean, unless you are doing anything, if you're just taking it, it's gonna strike you and just deal its damage to you. But
So
then
can I?
Yeah.
So because I'm standing in defense, does that mean I just have to stand and take it, or can I try to parry it, basically?
How would you parry it?
Well, it's obviously charging at me, so I was just going to swing my mace for its chest.
And just try and do like a bat thing, like it's the ball and you're going to bat it away.
Yep.
I think that's perfectly cool. I actually think in this case, I'm trying to decide whether it would be a defy danger with dex or strength. Because to me, since this is baseball, that's what I'm envisioning as the paradigm. This isn't about hitting it. It's not a hack and slash. This is about deflecting it. So because of that, I don't know that it's strength. I think it might be dexterity, where you have to hit the incoming thing at exactly the right moment.
Okay.
So go ahead and defy danger with dexterity. Let's see how that goes.
That's a 6.
That does not go well, as
No.
you strike.
Have you been getting experience for these?
You do get an experience, yeah. For your missed, for each missed move, you always get an experience. Yep.
That is good to know.
You have your mace out. It's hurtling towards you. You are prepared. You swing, and just as you do, the word flashes on it again. Like the runic symbols on its chest flash, and its 2 eyes glow a brilliant white, and they erupt out with this pure white force that strikes the mace as you're swinging it in midair, and the mace just disintegrates. And that's when it slams into you.
So now can I use that +1 as the opening now?
So you
an
have one hold. You have your 1 hold. You can spend it to create an opportunity for Newt if you want to give him a +1 on his roll. Yes, you absolutely can. I was about to say though, it is still going to hit you right now, and it's
that's totally fine.
It's going to do its damage to you. So you could also spend your 1 hold to have that damage. If you don't spend it right now. It depends on how bad the damage is. If the damage isn't very much, there's no point in having it. So go ahead and roll. Go ahead and roll and see how much damage it does.
D8, correct?
D8 +2.
+2. Oh yeah, that probably should get halved.
You want to have it? Yeah.
Yes, please.
Because that was a 9. That probably makes sense. So you have it. Does it say round up or round down? It does not. I'll go ahead and I'll round the damage removed up, which means that the damage it deals is rounded down. So it deals 4 damage to you.
Okay.
Because it would deal 9, and so I'm saying that you eliminate 5 of the 9. Great, so you take 4 damage, but it does still have 1 piercing that ignores 1 armor. And this is it slamming into you, its claw hooking like right in where your empty ribcage, you don't have a ribcage, but still, where it would be, where it should be, the claw hooks to you, and then the other claw the arm wraps around you and hooks like up near your collarbone, but its momentum is still carrying you forward straight towards Newt on the rock. You slowed it down a little bit, so it's not coming in like a missile anymore, but it's still like you will slam into him in a couple of seconds. Newt, what are you doing?
I'm getting one more shot off.
Are you sending out your crater
Of
bat?
course.
Your cave bat?
And actually, since they're flying through the void at this point, I think what the bat is more doing is actually rotating it in the air so that I can get another shot at one of the sigils.
Oh, that's nice. That's clever. I like that. So, like, the bat flies out, grabs onto Zagreus, and just spins them in the void so you get a shot at the sigil. That's adorable. Oh, I love that. Okay. Yeah, go for it.
Volley away. Go! I got a 13 again.
Oh my god. You need to share your rolls.
Apparently.
Yeah, that's awesome. So go ahead and roll your damage.
Tonight.
Go ahead and roll your damage.
Alright. 7.
Boom. Yeah, the arrow flies out, strikes the sigil again, and this time it like actually manages to crack into the beast, and the word is now clearly like bisected. The letter has been broken, and there's a split-second moment where the creature looks down at its own chest, and then the word flashes brightly, and the entire creature just falls apart. Its pieces float in different directions, and I mean they all still their momentum carries you forward, right? Like so, Zagreus does still impact into the rock, and the little pieces of it do as well. But it disintegrates, not in that sense where suddenly it's ash, but in the sense where it was a thing, a single coherent thing, and now it just comes apart. It just drifts apart, and the pieces of it that had the letters written on them. The letters flared and then just went dim, and now they're just scorch marks on pieces of rock that impact altogether, crushing flowers beneath them. I think it's perfectly fine. Newt, you just quickly jump out of the way as Zagreus would slam into where you were standing a second ago.
When Zagreus stands up, I walk over and slap her on the back and say, "You're welcome."
Great. Well, that could have gone significantly.
So the thing that's holding you, Jack, I mean, it watches that happen, and it says, "Oh, well, it seems you had a little bit more time than expected."
I'm assuming we're still stuck here.
Quite so.
Great.
And now, I mean, the two of you, Zagreus and Newt, you see Jack being held in the void by that other figure that was talking earlier, holding him by the ankle on a rock a little ways away. You can hear them talking, too. I will simply have to bring in more help to ensure that you intruders are dealt with appropriately. Propriety must be observed.
I imagine it will. If, however, I were to give you something of value, perhaps we can... That is not my friend, of course.
Well, yes, if you were to make a gift, propriety would be observed. Such are the ways of the word fae.
I see. I have a shard of the Knight's Mirror. Would you accept that?
Indeed. I do believe I would.
Very well. And it would pass for myself and my friends, of course.
Now therein lies the question. If you had the whole mirror, without a doubt, a single shard, that leaves me less certain. Do you want to parlay?
Sure.
What do you say?
I mean, if I refuse to allow it to pass into your hands and escape this place, then you will not have, in fact, collected the shard. Wouldn't it be easier for me to simply give you the shard and for you to provide us all with safe passage?
Isn't that better for everyone?
Exactly.
I've got this shard
Go
looking
for
for
it.
a home.
Go for it. Well,
Please
I
do it.
feel like this is hurting you so much to say, right?
Yes.
Great. I love the pain. All right, go ahead.
That'd be a 9.
Very nice. So on a 9, it needs concrete assurance of your promise right now. So, I mean, basically, what you're saying is, I will hand over the shard, and in exchange, my friends will be safe as well as me, because that profits us all the most. So what
Right.
it needs concrete assurance of is that you are really committed to this idea of everybody profits best from this, right? Like, you really have to give first before it does.
Okay. I'll give it the shard, I guess.
I'm imagining this horrible moment too, where like you reach down into your pouch and you pull out the little shard and it sparkles a little bit, like the little purple eldritch energy runs across it, and then you just
Yes.
lower it down towards the creature.
Oh, it hurts me.
It reaches up and plucks the shard from your hand. Excellent. Very well. You and yours will be made guests of the Word Fae until you take such action as to revoke your status. Please obey the rules of the tower.
Would you care to enumerate those?
Absolutely. It claps its hands, and then this massive like scroll appears in the air, covered in writing you cannot possibly read.
Fantastic. That has been the kind of day that this has been.
Claps again. Excellent. I will have some servants come to bring you to your chambers for the time being.
That would be excellent. Thank you.
It just nods its head at you. And then from the distance again, you see weird, long-limbed, loping, sloped-headed figures shooting from rock to rock to rock and coming towards you very quickly, each of them with another word blazing on their chest. And one at a time, they grab each of you, and they start dragging you through the void, hurtling until they take you towards this black hole and dive through it.
Well, this has been fun.